Up until only a few weeks ago, I must admit it, Illuvium was a little bit lackluster. Thankfully, it has been looking incredibly positive as of late. And I'm going to go over 7 indisputable facts that prove Illuvium's 2024 and 2025 will be the catalyst that sends crypto gaming to the mainstream. Okay, you really want to pay attention to these. Some of the best ones are at the end, so make sure you watch through them all. They're going to change everything you initially thought about Illuvium, and even if you were already bullish on Illuvium, it's going to make you even more excited for the game. So number 1 is the project's iteration speed as of the past 6 months. Now, Arena Patch 0.4.2 was released on July the 2nd. Quite recently, it included a giant revamp of the Forge, new design for the survival mode, full missions dashboards on the website, other quality of life improvements, and even new effects and visuals and enhanced gameplay visuals across the board. Huge update. Not only that, but a mere 2 weeks before that, we got the new Hollow and Dark Hollow Illuvials added to the game, and that was released on June 14. They added Hollow and Dark Hollows, and shortly after that, they also added new UI treatment to a bunch of things, and shortly before, Ethereal Illuvials were also added to the game, a brand new gameplay feature that was not in there beforehand. There were also other changes related to the best alluvial appearing in the overworld and some other effects and things to go with it all. So actually a pretty decent update, not the biggest update they've ever made, but really solid. Before that was the open beta testnet launch, which released on May 29. They swapped over fuel contracts, had a handful of balance adjustments, changed some of the ways Ascendant works, and Private Beta 4, which had huge updates, came out only a month before this. It had massive updates like alluvial hunting, different features, the way you shoot rocks, everything. It had a lot of different stuff. It was a big update. And really only 3 or 4 months before that was we got, I think, even another overworld update. And a few months before that, we got the Ascendant mode upgrades and release on Epic Game Store and everything. Just the point I'm trying to make is new updates have been coming every single month, and we've got Gauntlet and Overworld Combat to look forward to, not to mention the story is coming out soon. The trailer came out last month. There's so much happening in Illuvium, and the speed they're getting these updates out now should really make you happy for the future of Illuvium. Just like Illuvium, there is another AAA game building that has me extremely excited, and up until this point, they've been building in stealth. Open is a multi-mode battle royale game coming to the PC and current generation consoles in partnership with the author of Ready Player One. It will feature IPs like the DeLorean and Reebok, with many more IPs to be confirmed in the future, and there are lots of items to collect and battles to be fought in the game. I personally love battle royales, and it is one of my favorite genres, and I cannot wait until this game comes out. Make sure to follow their X profile and watch them like a hawk. I assure you, you won't regret it. The second thing I want to talk about is the Gauntlet and the current size of the TFT viewership. If we have a look at the Twitch category chart, we can see that they have a typical 20,000 viewers every single day, and it peaks at about 50,000 viewers, especially when they drop major new updates to the game. Now, Gauntlet, which is Illuvium's version of TFT coming out sometime in July, maybe August, can reliably attract this audience. It's holistic, it has the full gameplay loop properly, it's free, it's accessible to anyone can download it on the Epic Game Store, they don't need ownership or anything, and it has many new features as well, things like the hyper systems in Illuvium, the way Illuvials ascend, and then even our unique augment system, and even things like drone augments coming at some point as well. So it has plenty of new systems on top of TFT, and Hex Grid system is one of my favorites as well. It's going to breathe some fresh air into the game, and so people that are playing TFT and want to try something new, they're not going to have a reason to say, oh, I don't really want to try that. There are going to be many that be like, oh, it's a crypto game, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole, but I reckon most of them will be like, yeah, I might give it a shot, and if they enjoy it, I do feel like they'll stay and they maybe play both games or whatever, but word of mouth is key here, and if the game is good enough to get those people to at least try it, then that is really all we need to do. And so so I think Gauntlet has a really solid shot of doing that. Number 3 is the Illuvium Overworld Combat and Palworld's past success. It's no secret that Illuvium is bringing Overworld Combat to the game very soon, and we know that that's very similar to how Palworld operates. Go out there, shoot a pal, throw a pal sphere, catch it. Very, very simple. As we look at the Palworld Steam chart, we can see that after the update, they're averaging about 100,000 average concurrent players. And not only that, but Palworld blew up on its day one launch, showing the hunger for first-person creature collectors. People want these games, and they want them on PC too. A lot of people say, oh, PC isn't accessible to many people. Well, 25 million people downloaded Palworld, okay? So you say what you want to say. There is 25 million people out there that downloaded it within like a week, and probably many more that might try it throughout the course of its lifetime. So I don't know what you want to say. It being on consoles definitely helped, but it is what it is. So they also had 2 million concurrent active players for quite a few days at the start of their launch, and unfortunately the game actually has an ending to it. Once you've done everything, you're done. Illuvium is a lot less like that, especially with Dark Hollow hunting in the game. Illuvium has significantly more endgame content. Now, I'm not saying it's a better game than Palworld. Palworld serves its own purpose, and even though the art direction's kind of crap, it's a fantastic game. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people love it. Illuvium is not at that level yet, but once it is, I don't see any reason it can't attract such a large audience that just exists, is the point I'm trying to make. The other thing is current active users and just how sticky Illuvium currently is. As you can see from the active users charts in my previous video, about 5,000 daily active players and 10,000 weekly active players consistently in the game. And I expect this to, at the very least, increase for the open beta launch. Is that enough to generate a ton of revenue? I have no idea. But there are a lot of people that care about the game, and the game's proven to be quite sticky because we've seen that the player retention has stayed quite high. Now, some people like to say, oh, 20,000 downloads and 5,000 players. That doesn't actually matter. You'll find that a lot of bots download the game and some people open it and don't really like it. But those that played it for an hour or two or like a day or two kept playing it. They kept on with it. You can see that from the weekly actives in particular. So that bodes really well for the stickiness of the game in general, which is what Illuvium really needs for marketing to be effective in Illuvium. And so the team will start marketing soon, I'm sure, and that's very exciting. The fifth thing I've got for you is bull market euphoria, okay? We're not going to talk about token price today, but I do want to say that literally anything is possible in a bull market. As we can see from the Axie Infinity volume over time, the bull market flash on a plan, you can see it really clear as day, end of 2021, I think it was. But this is interesting given it was an average mobile game, okay? It was like a surprisingly good game compared to even what we have now in crypto gaming, but it was nothing crazy. It was on mobile. It was all right. It was just nothing crazy, but it got to $20 million in volume every single day for like pretty much a year or like half a year, which is insane. It got over $1 billion in volume during its hype cycle, which was absolutely crazy.
That's just insanity.
And so if the crypto market does enter a bull run, I expect so many players to flood into the game. Axie Infinity even hit 3 million active players during that time. And even now they have about 200,000-300,000 active players quite consistently. So very interesting stuff, but I think Illuvium can do it even better. Anything can happen in a bull market. Number 6 is views on Illuvium content are up across the board. Obviously, I'm very happy about that, but in reality, they show how deep in the funnel players are. When you're playing a game, if you enjoy it and you want to get good at it, or if you want to improve your skills at it, or if you want to get further in the game, or you want to figure out what to unlock next, the next thing you do is you go and watch a YouTube video. And so YouTube is actually one of the first point of calls for those players that enjoy Illuvium. We can see that people are getting, like Web3 Gaming TV and Jake, myself, they're getting 4,000 to 5,000 views on videos about gameplay, not about the token, about gameplay, showing that there are players that care about Illuvium now, and they're getting deeper into the funnel. This just goes to show all about that stickiness all over again. We also saw this happen before Axie Infinity blew up, as you can see from these other charts as well. It's a good indicator of fresh eyes coming into the ecosystem. Trust me, as a long-time Illuvium creator, I would know that something is happening and something is changing, and you should be excited for it. And last but not least is RevDiff. Although unproven, it will at least give Illuvium the chance to decouple from the rest of the crypto market, even if only slightly, and even if only for one day. RevDiff takes revenue from the DAO and distributes it as ILV to stakers. So say there's $1 million in revenue and 1 million tokens staked, every single token would receive $1. There's some more nuance to it, but that is the basics of it. Now, what's interesting with this is if the entire crypto market goes down 50% in one day, but Illuvium generated $10 million in revenue somehow, I don't know, if they generate a lot in revenue, then all those buybacks are going to keep the token high. But that's not important. It's not important where the token goes, but what's interesting is it gives the ILV token the chance to actually stand out from the crowd. If people go and see their folio and they're like, okay, every single token is down 50%, but ILV is down 10% or up 50%, I don't know, whatever. ILV is different, then that's when you get all the news articles. You get on Binance talking about it. You get everyone talking about it, people telling their friends, people moving their other assets into it. It stands out like nothing else in a crypto market when one token does something different to everyone else. And I believe revenue distribution has the chance to achieve that for ILV and the Illuvium ecosystem. Please don't forget to subscribe down below. Don't forget to like my content. And of course, don't forget to register for the game if you haven't already. You have not lost your chance. There is a huge 5-month airdrop happening at the end of July. July 25 is when the game launches.